Hello, dear Aquarius. How are you? Well, I can tell you what's in store for you in July in just a second. But I've got a couple of things I want to share with you that might be of interest to you. First of all, many of you have taken advantage of my gift of a free copy of your actual birth chart. And you've looked at it and you said, now, how do I figure out what this means? Okay, allow me a cheap plug. I would suggest that you get a copy of my book. Now that I've cast it, what do I do with it? I wrote this back in the 70s. It's been updated since a couple of times. And it has always been a favorite of astrology students because it teaches you how to use the best book that you've got, which is your brain. And it allows you to express your inner astrologer simply and easily, so that using this book, you should be able to pick up any horoscope and read it. So I hope that that's helpful to you. Now, oh yes. Have you taken advantage of my summer eclipse special? We are in really crazy times all over the world, not just in the United States where I live, but things for so many people are spiraling out of control. And I think it's really important that everybody have their forecast so that they'll know what is the best course of action for them. I'm offering this summer eclipse special on my website, MaxineTaylor.com, in July, just the month of July. It goes through from July till the first eclipse in 2020. That's 4 eclipses, 2 Mercury retrogrades, and 6 full moons. I'm including the full moons because that's when things come to a head, as well as all the usual information that I give you. I'm encouraging you to take advantage of this while it's still offered. Then I'm inviting you again to another freebie, my full moon ceremony. It is on July 16th, and the beauty of these full moon ceremonies is the people who attend. If you're in Atlanta, it will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at the Phoenix and Dragon bookstore in Sandy Springs. Now, if you're not in Atlanta, if you're not in the United States, you can still attend. All you do is take your time zone where you are living right now, convert it to Eastern Daylight Time. Join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and just tune into the energy. It's strong, it's loving, and it's life transforming. It is uplifting because of the people who attend, and I'd love for you to be one of them. Okay, now this month in July, we've got a bunch going on. Of course, we know we have Mercury going retrograde and 2 eclipses. That's plenty. Speaking, by the way, of Mercury retrograde, if you have not watched my YouTube video, Mercury retrograde, the prequel and the sequel, you might want to do that because on that video I explain the shadow of the retrograde Mercury, which occurs approximately 2 weeks before Mercury goes retrograde and approximately 2 weeks after it comes out of retrograde and goes direct. For so many years, so many of you have told me that you feel the retrograde Mercury before it goes retrograde. Well, understandably, when you are sensitive, you're going to be feeling it. And it's because we're in the shadow of the retrograde. So this is validation of your deep intuition and sensitivity. In other words, no, you ain't crazy. You're psychic. All right. So let's look at this amazing forecast that you've got here, you can see that all the action, just about all the action, takes place in this area of the chart. The sixth house of work, health, and service, and the seventh house of partnership, whether personal or business. The seventh house can deal with marriage. It can deal with a one-on-one relationship. It can deal with the public as well. So let's start with a retrograde Mercury, because that's what I just finished talking about. Now, in your chart, Mercury starts in the seventh house of partnership. That's going to go direct between the 7th and 8th of the month, all right? And when it goes retrograde in 4 degrees of Leo. Mars, the planet of war and arguing, is also in 7 degrees of Leo on that day. 4 degrees of Leo on the 7th and 8th. Which means we've got Mars, which is anger, and Mercury, which is communication and thinking and talking, right on top of each other. My suggestion is that you put all arguments on hold. It is not worth it to start World War III. After Mercury goes direct, you may find that the problem and the project involved and the person involved is no longer an issue, okay? The situation can self-heal. That's number one. So Mercury starts off in your relationship area, and there can be unsettledness with different people, maybe a change in your feelings towards somebody. And it's going to back up into your sixth house of health and work and service. This means that if you're having a health issue, you may find that you're able to find the solution for it. You can resolve it. If you're thinking of starting a new project, like a new job, while Mercury's retrograde, don't do it. Unless you are tying up the loose ends of unfinished projects, don't start new ones when Mercury is retrograde, because they'll either fizzle out completely or have to be redone within the year. Okay? I have tested this myself. If your computer dies on you, well, you have to get a new computer. You don't have a choice. But it may very well be that you're finishing up a lesson that you began a while back. You're not going to impulsively buy another car, something that on a whim. Wait until after Mercury goes direct, because there may be something about the car that you don't know about yet. Okay? So when Mercury goes direct in your sixth house, that is when the work picture, the health picture, everything will start to move forward. It won't necessarily be cleared in your own head or cleared up until after Mercury, August 15th, when Mercury comes out of the shadow of the retrograde. Now let's look at the other planets, however. The sun, the yellow planet, the giver of life. The sun is the center of our life, and it has been in your sixth house now for a couple of weeks. And so your job and serving others, very important. With the sun in the sixth house, you want to be the leader. With the sun in the sixth house, you should be. As it moves into the seventh house on the 22nd, you're focused on other people. And what this means is others call the shots, and you will be responding to them. I hope this is making sense to you. If it doesn't right now, don't worry, it will. And so the sun lights up every area in which it sits, your work, your health, and your relationships. And let's keep in mind, Venus, the planet of love. It's been in your fifth house of fun and games, yay, of romance, yay, of children, yay. And on the 3rd, it moves into your sixth house of work, health, and service. Venus is the lesser benefic. It blesses and brings joy and happiness and benefits wherever it is. And so the work picture should pick up. The health picture can improve also. By the 27th, it's in that 7th house saying, let's have wonderful, loving relationships. And it's going to sit there for a while. Now, Mars, the red planet, is in the 7th house. And wherever Mars is what comes first to you. It's what you'll fight with and fight for. It's in the area of relationships. So you might fight with a partner, you might fight for a partner, and with Venus there, love comes along. And with Mars in the 7th, you put your partner first. You put others first. That's the way to use Mars in the 7th. You will attract people who put themselves first. Good, you're both on the same page. You're putting them first. Wonderful. Now, let's look at the eclipses. The first eclipse on July 2nd, of course, we talked about that. It's a solar eclipse. This is when the energy starts. It's on a new moon. Excuse me. I'm steps ahead of myself, and my mouth can't keep up with my mind. The solar eclipse on July 2nd is a new moon, and that's where energy starts flowing and moving forward. Work, health, service, it's great. If Mercury were not retrograde, I would encourage you to take on a new job if you were thinking of that. I would encourage you to join a gym. Don't join a gym now. That's a new project. Okay, just walk around the block a few times. When Mercury goes direct, yeah, join the gym. Okay, this is where the energy starts. The full moon, which is the lunar eclipse on the 16th, is in your 12th house of behind-the-scenes activities. And you're going to want solitude and privacy because you've got all this activity in the house of other people, and you're giving them your attention, and they're putting their attention on themselves, and you're putting your attention on them. And oh God, you need to be alone. There's that full moon in the 12th house. And so what I would do is cut out some time for time alone. And the first eclipse, the July 2nd eclipse, is 10.5 of Cancer. Find that in your birth chart. That's where the new moon is, the solar eclipse. The second eclipse is in 24 of Capricorn on the 16th of July. Find that one because that's where things come to a head. So the 12th house deals with the subconscious mind. Don't you love it? Deals with the subconscious. It deals with behind-the-scenes activities. It deals with getting away from it all. So you're going to blend all of this. Your work, putting yourself out there for other people, and then finally getting away for yourself. And of course, the new moon says, oh, by the way, make sure you're putting other people first, even while you're in hibernation, so to speak. So that's your amazing forecast for July. I hope it's helpful to you. And I look forward to talking about your forecast next month as well. So till we meet again online, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours.